college applications in full swing. Today our video will be based on how to choose your major. Now, when it comes to a major, there are multiple different things that you have to consider. One of the most important things you have to consider is whether or not you have the background for this major. For example, if your family is wealthy, you can afford to try majors that might not be as profitable as other ones. Like, for example, if you can't afford college and you need a positive ROI, a return on investment, in order to pay back your loans, then I would suggest you choose a major that will help you get a job that pays well. Like, when it comes to certain areas or wherever you go to college for, like, for example, if you're at Berkeley or like LA, in California, tech jobs are the boom right now. But when it comes to, like, maybe there's an agriculture job in Davis, it just depends on whether or not your college is good for that major. Like, for example, some schools are really well known for their computer science degrees, other schools are really well known for business, like NYU. If you're in those certain areas, you could base your major off of what available jobs there are nearby. And another thing that connects to your background is whether or not you have connections in this field. Like, for example, if the major that you choose is something your family has been in for a long time, or you have a lot of friends, like, obviously you make friends while you're majoring in this, but you might have to consider whether or not you had, like, past connections to this field. Like, maybe you knew, like, a high school teacher that was really big into tech. And elaborating on can you afford it? Debt from college is a very common thing. Most of us are gonna have to take out loans. It's super expensive, so you have to make sure that you make enough money so you're not constantly in debt throughout your life. Like, for example, if you were to get like what's it called again, like an art degree, you're not gonna make much money at all. And this is nothing against art degrees. Obviously, if you can afford it, go ahead and do it. But if you can't afford it, then don't do it. It's pretty simple because if you can afford to do, like, as I said before, with your background, if your family is paying for your college and they want you to, like, find your major, you can choose something that you want to do. But when it comes to if you're paying for yourself, it might be good to consider the return on investment that you get after you go, what's it called again? To college and you get to choose your major. So, most of us have also heard of the fact that computer science is super hot. Computer science makes a ton of money, etc., etc. And right now, computer science, the job market isn't very good, but then again, the job market for everyone isn't very good. So it still stands that computer science and software engineering makes up the most of the money when it comes to a major. And as expected, the humanities don't do as well. Now, make sure that it aligns with your interest as well. Because if you want to do something for the rest of your life, which is probably what you're going to do, if you work at a job, you want to make sure that you don't hate it. You want to make sure that you actually have a passion about what you're working for, or at the very least, you're neutral about it. Like me, for example, I really don't like coding, so I would never want to do computer science. However, I'm okay with a little amount of coding, so I would be okay with doing data science. That's what I'm doing. And also, you have to think about your goals in life. Do you want to be rich? Do you want to enjoy your work? Because regardless of what you want to do, you always have to figure out how will this job serve you for life? Because the whole point of a job is to give you enough money so you can afford the things that you want. Now, while you're in college, your major will probably change if you're not super into it already. Like, for example, a lot of people change their majors from hard ones to more easy ones. Like, I know a few people that would go from engineering to, like, business because they don't like engineering anymore, or it's quite hard for someone for, like, a less competitive major to switch over to a more competitive one. Like, for example, you can't just go from art, which is kind of easy to get into, to computer science. It's not possible. Now, when it comes to, like, the mid majors, like the biology, chemistry, etc., those are pretty easy to switch over to because they might be in the same department slash college, but it really depends. However, don't bank on going from art to STEM, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And you can always change your major if you want to. If you don't want to do STEM, if you hate it in college, don't do it. You'll probably be miserable if you were to make a job out of it. But as we said before, this ties all the way back into the whole part of whether or not you can afford it and with debt and ROI. So just think about whether or not your major will set you up for your life, whether or not you can afford it, and whether or not you would actually want to do that major. It's quite important. And also when it comes to college applications, different majors are harder, that's for sure. Computer science and engineering are the most competitive. I know this myself. So good luck to everyone out there. Hopefully your college acceptance is coming, and goodbye. Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention was that there are different colleges within these universities, and these colleges sometimes have overlapping majors. So for example, one common example is computer science. There is a major of computer science within the Letters and Sciences College, but there's also a separate college made for College of Computer Science. Well, you can obviously expect that computer science in general across the board will be more competitive to get into. But normally speaking, a major within the Letters and Sciences College versus a major within the Engineering College, the Letters and Sciences are usually easier to get into because it's the widest ones, the most people applying, and as well the one with the most spots. So if you have a major that you want to go to and you see that it's offered twice, once in a different college as well as the Letters and Sciences, then I would actually suggest you apply to the Letters and Sciences one if you want to maximize your chances of getting that major. Because in reality, the college that you go to, unless it's very clear, like engineering for engineering, if you go to comp sci from, like for example, the computer science college versus the Letters and Sciences college, in all reality, you have the same degree. It has the same name, it's just from different colleges. But this is very school dependent. I'm just saying this as a side note because Letters and Sciences versus engineering schools and other colleges are harder to get into. And for example, business is another one. Some schools have their own individual business schools, while some schools put business under like Letters and Sciences. And obviously, when it comes to business schools, business degrees will be better just by proximity due to all the people within that college and all the connections you'll be making. So make sure you choose the major, but make sure that you also remember to choose the Letters and Sciences, the School of Business, the School of Engineering, etc. Make sure that your school is chosen as well as your major within that school.